Whether you're just starting out in real estate investing or already making strides, the Investor Evolution podcast is tailored for you. Come along as we tackle these questions directly and deliver practical insights to empower your journey in the realm of real estate investing. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Investor Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Hoyt, and I'm glad to have you with us today. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a story about my garden. About 3 years ago, we bought 3 different Clematis plants. Clematis are these beautiful flowering plants that vine, right? So they like to climb on things. And I had an idea of where I wanted them in my backyard. And so we bought 3 plants with this in mind. And we brought them home and set them down kind of by our porch. And then, like things happen in life happened. My husband wasn't so sure if he liked where I had planned to plant them, and he wanted to consider it and think about it a little bit. And in the process of us doing that, like I said, life happened. The summer got busy. We traveled. We had other things going on. And where we had sat those plants was below our patio, which is a drop off, right? So we couldn't see them. It wasn't something that we saw all the time or every day when we were outside. It was when we were out in the grass that we would look back at the porch and see these plants there. They were in a spot where they were able to get water. So they did survive the summer. But again, life happened. Summer came and went, and we never planted these plants in the ground. And winter came, snow came, freezing temperatures came. And the next spring, they were still there, and we didn't throw them away. We just left them there and just kind of waited to see what would happen. What was really cool was, sure enough, they got watered because they were in the same spot where the sprinklers would hit them. And they started to sprout. Their green leaves started popping in. The rest of the plants looked dead, and we should have thrown them out. But then they started to develop some buds of leaves, and they started to grow again. And we were like, okay, these plants are still kicking. Let's get them in the ground. And we were still debating, where do we want them? Do we want to plant them by the fence? Do we want to plant them behind the fence so they grow up over? Where do we want them? And again, life happened. We went on another vacation. We were doing different things. We were traveling quite a bit during the summer and never really got to a point of establishing where we wanted those plants to go, making the plan for it, and actually planting them. So again, another summer came and went, and those poor plants sat there by our porch, continued to get water. They did grow, but not flourish, right? They were getting some greenery. They may have even gotten a flower or two, but they weren't flourishing. Fall came, winter came, they froze again, the snow came. And again in the spring, these amazing plants started to sprout again because they were getting water, they were getting sunshine. They weren't getting everything they needed to flourish, but they were still growing. So finally, last summer, at the end of the summer, guys, apparently we've got a lot of life going on and gardening is not my forte. But finally, we figured out where we wanted them along our backyard, along the fence line, and we finally planted them. And they did okay. So they were starting to grow, but they weren't sprouting as huge as we thought they would. Again, summer came and went, fall came, winter came. And now this year, we decided we were going to put some lattices for them to grow up on. And I kid you not, they are finally flourishing. So they are climbing up these trellises. One of the plants has some blooms on it already. Another one's getting ready to bloom. And they are finally doing what these plants wanted to do, to grow, to flourish, to show their beauty. Now, why in the world am I talking about these plants and my inability to put them in the garden? I think this is a great metaphor for life, especially when we're trying something new. And I liken it to my journey in real estate investing. When I first started in investing, I was gung-ho. I was like, okay, I've got the course, I've got the things, I'm ready to go. I've got this beautiful new plant ready to grow. And though I was doing the education and learning and getting to know people, I wasn't immersed, right? I wasn't totally all in. I was kind of toe dipping. And the season kind of came and went, and some things changed. I tried wholesaling, didn't love it, didn't like it. And then things in my personal life were changing. I was changing jobs, right? So winter came. And then the next summer, when things settled down and I dove back in, I did a lot of activity to start, but I didn't fully immerse myself. And so I think of the soil, water, and fertilizer of different parts of my journey as a real estate investor that, we can take from this whole planting. Really, I think the soil is that education piece, the learning, the stuff that you need to know in order to be a successful investor, whether you're fix and flipping, whether you're wholesaling, whether you're building teams, whatever that looks like. And that soil is rich and it's full of nutrients and it's super important. And if you're not fully immersed, right? If you're not planted in that and you're not working in that realm and incorporating that education into your life, it's going to take time. Just like these sweet little plants of mine, they didn't die, but they weren't flourishing either, right? They were surviving. And maybe that's how you feel in your real estate journey. Maybe you've started on the path, you've started on the process, you're doing the education, but maybe it's just not falling into place like you thought it would. What else do you need to grow? You need water. And I think of the water as the community. When you're immersed in the education, you're learning, and then you have the support of the community around you, it's going to take you further faster because you have a lot of the things that you need to grow and to get moving and to learn. You have people who have done what you're doing, and you can gain and glean from their experience. Another thing that is also important that we do for a lot of our plants, right, is we fertilize them. We give them this kind of infusion of nutrients to help them get that quick start and get the leg up, and so that they can start growing and start to flourish. I think of fertilizer in our journey as the experiences. If you are not in a deal, if you're not looking at underwriting, if you're not cold calling or finding leads, I guess lead generation, or you're not talking to sellers, if you're whatever the realm that you're working in or want to work in, if you're not doing those things, it's going to take a lot longer to grow. When I think of the fertilizer and being immersed in the education, being immersed in the community, and then actually doing the deals that you're working on, that you're working through, you're going to make mistakes, but you are going to learn so much in the process. You may feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing with this, how this really works. But if you just sit on the sidelines and you never walk through that process, you're still never going to know. So when you're walking through that process, when you're learning as you go, that's how you're going to absorb those nutrients, get some information, glean those lessons that you needed from that project so that for the next one, you know so much more. So we all need those things as we're diving into this world of real estate investing. We need the education, 100%. We need the water. We need the community to be around us, to support us, to help us know where to go, to show us what they've gone through so we can learn from them. And then we need to dive in. We need that experience in order for us to build and grow on our journey. I have talked to a lot of new investors, people who are new to this community, whether it's in the Pace Morby world or other real estate communities. And there are some people that just take off like rockets. And part of that is because of maybe their background, their skill set, their knowledge base that makes it easier for them to springboard into this world. I was talking to a guy last week and he did underwriting for mortgages for years. So when he came into real estate investing, he had a significant advantage because he's done those things before. And that's helped him as he's built his business. Now, I didn't have that. I came from the medical field. I have no business background. I have no financial background. I have no real estate background. So it's taken me a lot longer to get going than some other people. And what I want to encourage you as a new investor, if that's where you're feeling like, okay, I am a little bit out of my depth. This is not something that I really know inside and out yet because it's brand new to me. First of all, give yourself some grace. Being new to this area, there is so much to learn. But good on you for taking the leap and jumping in and saying, I'm going to learn it. So don't be discouraged that it's taking you some time to learn. Again, sometimes we see these posts and there's certain people that just come into the community and they blow it out of the water for multiple different reasons. But there's a lot of us who don't, and we just take our time. The one thing that I want to encourage you, as long as you keep going, you will get where you want to go. There's I think I've said this probably on here a couple of times already because I love this proverb. It's an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. What I want to encourage you as a new investor is to find people who are doing what you want to do. And maybe that's several different areas of investing. Maybe you want to learn underwriting. So I want to encourage you to find someone who is underwriting and ask them if you can bring deals to them and have them show you how to underwrite. Maybe that's one area that you want to learn. Maybe you want to learn how to close. Hey, can I listen in on your conversation with sellers so that I can understand how you're talking to them, how you're presenting the ideas and the opportunities to them so that they can see that this would benefit them in their situation, if that's something you're interested in. If you're interested in being a TC, maybe ask, hey, can I talk to you a little bit more about what that means? And can you maybe show me some of the things that you're working on, or talk me through the projects of what is needed? What do you do as a TC? Maybe that's something I'm interested in. Whatever realm within the real estate space that you're interested in, I would encourage you to find mentors in that area. I was talking to my mentor this last week, and he encouraged me to have 3 mentors. And I do. I have 3 different people that, and 3 different realms of investing that I'm working on right now, and building those relationships for those areas. And maybe I'm not going to do all 3. Maybe I'm going to focus on one. But one of the things I would also encourage you to do is, if you're not sure where you want to be, it's okay to try different things, because you might get into something and think like, oh my gosh, I would love to be a TC and I'm going to dive in and do that. And then you get in and you're like, I actually do not like this. That's how I was with wholesaling. So don't feel like you have to pigeonhole yourself in one area. But what I would encourage you to do is find mentors in different areas that you're interested in and start learning from them. And it's okay when you start ruling stuff out. This past couple of months, I've really been trying to hone where I want to be, what I truly want. And I'm finally in a position where I can say, okay, this area is not for me. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. Now, coming into it, I knew wholesaling wasn't for me, right? Because I knew that one coming in. But there's other areas that I'm like, okay, I'm learning about this, I'm hearing about this, and it just isn't resonating with me. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's where I'm supposed to be. Awesome. That is a great place to be because now I know what I don't want. And I can take that off the table, put it over there. And now I'm starting to shift to the things that I'm like, ooh, I love that. I want to learn more about that. I want to dive into that. I want to learn. I'm listening to this book. I got to look it up real quick. It's by Bob Proctor. It's Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And one of the things that he talks about is we are all creative. We are all intelligent beings, and we excel with repetition. When we do something over and over and over, and we repeat it over and over and over, we learn, we grow, we develop new skills, and we can harness the power of that area. Whatever you're looking to work on, to do, just make sure you're doing it repetitively. I would tell you, pick 2 or 3 areas that you're interested in and dive in for 90 days. Now, maybe you want to do one at a time, and that's okay. If it's too much to pick a couple of different areas and try and do it all, if you're still working, maybe just pick one area, dive into it for 90 days. 90 days, that is your obsession. That is your goal. That is your focus. You are repeating, you are diving into that education. You're diving into that community. You're diving into that experience for 90 days. Because in that 90 days, you're going to learn a lot. And you're going to find out if this is an area that you are like, okay, maybe I'm not great at it, but I really like it. And I really want to see this grow. And I can see how this is blooming into the area that I want to be into. Or maybe it's like, okay, I tried that and I know for sure, like, check, I'm good. I don't need that part of investing. So those would be the things that I would encourage you. Find 3 mentors, find 1 to 3 areas that you want to focus on and dive deep and get all the information in. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Find 3 mentors in different areas. And it could be in the same area, but maybe slightly tweaked. Maybe they're doing things just a little bit differently, and that's okay too. If you're like, I know I want to do wholesaling, maybe you find 3 mentors who have 3 very different processes and ways of building their business so you can see maybe what resonates with you. So find 3 mentors and then 1 or 3 different areas that you want to focus on and dive deep for 90 days and see how you feel at the end of that 90 days. See what you're thinking. Is this something you want to continue to pursue? And maybe so. Maybe you find that thing and you're like, okay, this is where I'm going and I'm just going to dive deep on this. And if so, that's a great place to be. But I do want to encourage those who are new. It's okay that you don't know what you want to do and you don't know where maybe the best fit for you is. If this is a brand new space to you, give yourself some grace and start learning, start ruling things in and start ruling things out. All right, guys, that's what I have for you today with my metaphor from the beautiful Clematis to our amazing journey as real estate investors. We will continue to evolve as we learn and we grow. This whole journey will evolve over our lifetime as we continue to pursue it. So it's okay. Start where you're starting and just take 1 step forward and just don't stop. Just keep moving forward. All right, guys, until next time, have a great one.